British National Party meeting called for by the Eastern Region, and thank you all for attending the second demonstration against the building of 1,000 homes in Heybridge. Where we are at the moment is the amount of houses being earmarked for this area is changing. Every month it's 1,000, it's 900, and it's 1,300. There is not an agreement on exactly how many are going to be earmarked for here, but it's more or less being fed to us that it's done and dusted, and we haven't got any say in it, and it will happen whether the residents of Heybridge like it or not. So that's where we are. Fortunately, we do have a parish council in Heybridge, of which Richard and myself are parish councillors on, who are democratic and unbiased. They genuinely reflect the view of parishioners of the area, and the council collectively, every member of the council opposes the house building on the floodplains of Heybridge. So we are all working together, which is really great news. There's also a Heybridge residents group, which is a non-political organisation, which has formed to help the Heybridge people have their voice heard. So that's something else. There's a few of the people did turn up today. The Heybridge Council set up a local development group, which I had a part to play in that, to keep an eye on the developments that are being merged into the existing planning group. We've put it together so that we can get on the case of the district council if they're not telling the Heybridge Parish Council exactly what's happening, because there's been this issue of transparency, that we thought that would be one way of resolving that, so everybody who lives here has got a chance to know what's going on and have their voice heard and protest against it. Unfortunately, most of the plans that we are faced with now have been made behind closed doors, long before the parish was aware of them. And what's happened now is we are on the back foot. And the residents of Fambridge have proved, however, that even though we're being told you've got no choice, this is happening, you can actually protest against it, and they will suddenly backtrack. Fambridge residents actually turned up at every council meeting. They come into Maldon Town Council and moaned and carried on. Most of the villagers turned up in force, and they've suddenly said, oh, OK, Fambridge doesn't have to have all of these homes after all. We'll put all of those homes that were going there to Heybridge, so that means we're going to get extra ones. But they've just moved them. But the point is, demonstrating, making a nuisance of yourself and being heard does have an effect. It is certainly not set in stone. So this is why we have to carry on, even though it can look like they're trying to tell us, don't bother. But it can look like we won't get anywhere, but you can get somewhere. So that's what's happened there. The reason for our objections of the thousands of homes are obvious to us, but I'll just outline this particular area. It is on floodplains, and the people who live here are already flooded out of their homes. They already suffer at certain times of the year with their gardens being filled with water, their downstairs parts of the properties being damaged and destroyed, and nobody is helping them with this. These extra homes that are going to be built in this area are on the floodplains that at the moment soak away the residue of this water. So the problems are going to be 3 times as bad if it goes ahead. So this is why it's unthought out, it's unsustainable, and the government doesn't care about the little people around here whose homes are being destroyed and their belongings being damaged every year. They don't really care as long as they get them up, and then it won't be their problem, it will be somebody else's problem. So that's where we are here, in the estuary land here. But there are other reasons as well of why we have to oppose it, because it's not just Heybridge, it's all in Essex and the south east that are having problems with this dumping ground of houses for immigrants, well, basically for people to move out of London so the immigrants can move in, as you I'm sure are aware of already. So we do need to have a look at the other issues behind it all as well. The parish council anyway has drawn attention to the lack of transparency. I mean, I actually popped into the paper here and had a little say about the fact that the district council was passing these plans through without actually allowing people to know what's going on. And I did actually say, to ensure transparency between Maldon District Council and Heybridge Parish Council, we're in the process of setting up a working group to obtain the information. I won't read all of it. And then I added, the parishioners can write to Heybridge Parish Council with their questions and or their concerns, and these will be addressed and passed on to the appropriate bodies. That little piece in the Heybridge local paper was hijacked by one of our local Tory councillors, Rodney Bass, who actually was in the standing for election at the time. He actually had a little piece put down next to it. Essex County Councillor Rodney Bass added, "We don't have the appropriate infrastructure in place. The government seems to be keen on building houses everywhere, disregarding the pressures in the south east. This policy of building new homes and regenerating without the necessary infrastructure is probably okay for the north of England." I think the people in the north of England probably have something to say about that, but not in Essex, okay? Then it goes on about he's a candidate standing in Heybridge and Tollsbury for Essex County Council election. He got voted back in. It sounds like he's a good guy, doesn't it? It sounds like he's going to stand up for the people of Heybridge and, you know, help them not have these plans passed, etc. Bear in mind, he's a Tory councillor. Bear in mind, it's a Tory-led government that has thought up this idea to get the economy moving. Bear in mind, now he has elected, we don't hear a peep out of him. We haven't heard a single thing about him on the topic since. But he's hoodwinked the people of Heybridge into voting for him on the back of something that I related in the paper, genuinely, with genuine concerns. So that's the sort of people we're dealing with, as I'm sure you already know. This has been going on for a long time. So anyway, I won't rattle on, but that's where we are at the moment. So myself and Richard are putting a lot of effort to represent the people of Heybridge and opposing these plans.